Have you ever struggled with friendships? I can think back as long as I can remember, and I personally am not someone who has. I have always loved people and connected really easily. And I say that because I was asked semi recently, more than once, how do you make friends? And it really made me stop in my tracks because I never really thought about it. I consider myself an introverted extrovert where I love to be around people. I love events and gatherings and just socializing, but I don't enjoy the small talk. I'm definitely a connection person. I want to sit, I want to hear about your story. I want you to genuinely know that I want to be there. I don't want to talk about the weather and just random things about gas prices and just superficial things that just feel like a waste of time. Unless they're, of course, helping us to connect so that then we can dive deeper. But friendships are a lot like that. They take work and they're worth it. And for people who have struggled to form friendships, and I mean more quality friendships, the friendships where you can sit in each other's presence and not talk and you're completely comfortable. Or you don't see each other for a while and then it feels like the moment you're together, time didn't skip a beat and you just are reconnected because you are that in sync. And when something happens, you reach out to one another and you just share life on all levels. That is the quality of friendship that I want for each of you. And I'm so grateful to have had throughout my life. And so I want to share as I've been thinking about it and really trying to lean in and reverse engineer. What does that look like? How did it happen? And how can I help you in your relationships to form better ones? Maybe you have some now, but you feel like we don't really touch on the important topics. Or when things happen, I'm not comfortable to open up or to reach out to them. Or maybe you feel like you don't really have any friends and you'd love to have that community, but you're just not even sure where to start. This is definitely the episode for you, and I completely anticipate there will be follow-up. So write down your questions, think about examples, and reach out to me. Email, social media, schedule a one-on-one call. I would love to dive in with you more on all of this, but today is going to be our initial introduction to this topic. So let's dive in. Are you too busy to prep healthy meals? Do you feel self-conscious about your body and your clothes not fitting right, but you don't have time to work out? Does your life feel unorganized and messy? Do you wish you had routines and habits that made health simple, even with your busy schedule? I know, I've been there. Hi, I'm Shannon Marquita, and no one ever really taught me how to eat healthy. I didn't know anything about nutrition, so I found myself eating whatever was easy, which definitely impacted my energy, weight, and focus. That's why I created this podcast, to show you that through healthy habits and time management, you can know you're doing health right. So stop scrolling social, clicking the ads, and buying all the things. Let's grab our Americano and pop in our AirPods. It's time to solve the real problem together. Welcome home. A fresh start awaits. I'm not sure if you're anything like me, but sometimes I want to learn more on a topic. I find a great podcast episode and I see how long it is, and I just realize I'm not going to be able to listen to the whole thing, so I'm going to try and get as much as I can out of it so I at least am starting to learn more. Or midway through, something comes up and it gets cut short and you're just not sure when you're going to be able to come back to finish it. So what I want to do is give you the short version of the answer up front. And hopefully you get to listen to the whole episode now, or if it does get cut short or you know you're short on time, please definitely come back so you can hear more about how to dive in and make better friends. It might be for you making friends in general, but you might have friends now and you just want higher quality ones. This episode is all about that. So it comes down to being the friend that you want. So similar to the golden rule, treat others the way that you want to be treated. Be the type of friend that you want to have. It is magnetic. You are going to attract those types of people. For people who only like to pay attention to themselves, talk about themselves, want people to take care of them, but don't seem to have time for anyone else, those often are the people that don't have quality friendships. And they might wonder why, They might not realize this about themselves, but they are attracting exactly what they're putting out into the world. So when you're only into yourself, it's hard to find people that are going to be that interested in you and want to be a great friend to you when you don't give anything back to them in the friendship. So be the type of friend that you want in your life. It's not always going to be a home run. You might be a great friend to certain people and they might just be takers. And that's okay. That's part of the process, is realizing who to invest your time with, and you are going to get better with your filters as time goes. But similar to dating, you have to put yourself out there and you have to give different relationships a try. A good way to meet people for friendships is common interests. So it could be church, it could be sports, it could be your area of work, it could be playgroups with your kids, all sorts of things. But that is a good, safe place to start because you already know you at least have some common interests. And there are tons of things in your community. I'm always so impressed with how many things are in my community to try and connect adults, as far as sports or friends to meet up for drinks or dinners or game nights with other common friends. You could go to work with somebody that has a game night once a month. Or I know my friend group often would do different dinner nights and we would take turns hosting. And you would often invite outside people that you think, hey, this would be a good addition to our friend group, or you know that they're looking for friends. So don't be afraid to kind of check out your area and see what they're offering. Facebook does a good job with different groups, or websites online for your city or your county. So that's one way to start if you really have no idea where to start. But if you play sports or go to church or have friends at work, definitely ask them, like, what are you up to this weekend? Or have you ever done something like this? And if their answer is no, then you start it. You host the first game night and invite them and tell them to invite some of their friends. And just don't be afraid to try something new. But you're putting an environment together that is healthy and that is a great way to connect and fun. And by you doing that, you are starting a good habit of having quality time with your friends. It's not just, hey, I want to text you some. It's let's also get together and remember what it's like to laugh and create healthy bonds, because then when life does happen and you want someone to talk with and dive deeper in, you also are already connected on that level that you know you can trust one another. So one of the ways, obviously, first and foremost, is that you need to find people and you need to figure out if you click with them. And that just starts by finding groups and communities that you can plug into and see if it's a good fit for you. And if you can't find a group, then create your own group and invite people in, tell them to invite friends, and it will take care of itself from there, I promise. Now, from that, as you find people, part of making good friends and quality friends, remember, is being the type of person that you want to attract into your life for friendships. So you need to be present. You need to be willing to show up and lend a hand, lend an ear. It's not always about having all the answers, but it's about showing up for life even when it's not fun and easy. So connecting and building the bonds, very fun. Again, very similar to dating. You want to have fun together. You want to laugh. You want to create memories. But friendships are also for the not so fun and pretty parts. And that's what makes the bond even deeper. And that requires being willing to sit in the mess and say, I don't know what to do here sometimes. And I don't know what to say, but I'm here and I'll be here for you. And letting the other person know that they can trust you and that you are a quality friend, and not being afraid when you need somebody to also reach out. I know this is something that I struggled with for a long time, is everyone would be like, wow, Shannon's such a great friend. Because for me, it's easy to be a good friend. I love people. I love being in your world and being there for you and supporting you, cheering you on, all the things, just walking the different stages of life together. But I really was limiting my friendships, and it was unintentional, by needing to improve how I trust people. It's not just showing up for other people and their life. It's letting them into yours as well. And so I had to get better about being willing to open up and trust people with my life and lean on them and trust that it's not just when they need me, but they wanted to be there for me too. And that really strengthened the friendship even more. So you might have great friends in your life, but maybe you're similar to me where unintentionally it was one-sided. It was you showing up for them, but you need to let them in to your life as well. And you need to trust them with the things and pieces that maybe aren't perfect in your life. And that is going to help you build higher quality friendships. You might already have the people in your life and you don't fully realize it. You just need to trust them with your friendship just as much as you have allowed them to trust you. And you could already have those friendships in place a lot sooner than you think. The truth is, there really is no secret to friendship. It's realizing that friendship are when people are drawn to one another because you have a lot in common. You're not identical. You have pieces that make you so different that it's amazing and fun, but on values, on interests, on maybe pieces of life from your past or where you want to go in your future, all the things help connect you and build friendship. But it's not some big crazy, hard thing to do. Friendship is really the seemingly small, insignificant moments that are actually huge deposits of trust and reliability that help those long-term bonds to be formed. I read a book by Brené Brown. It's called Dare to Lead. And there was this example that she mentions in it about her daughter, where her daughter was struggling with friends. She might not have even been struggling. I'd have to read the book again. But there was a piece where she asked her daughter, like, what is it about friendships and relationships that you feel help create that bond and draw you so close together? And it was so interesting, the answer. And obviously this is not verbatim, so read the book. I highly recommend it. But it was the moments that you don't really expect. So her daughter was in grade school playing soccer, and one of her friends was also on the team, and her daughter's grandparents were there at the game, and the daughter went over to say hi to her family and grandparents, and her friend on the team came with her and said hi to her grandparents as well, remembering them and their names, super respectful, asking about stuff that they had mentioned before because she took the time to pay attention in the conversation and to remember, and it was just like she was a member of the family. And her daughter said it's kind of like that. Like you don't expect those moments, but that was a moment of a friendship deposit. Like showing up and genuinely caring and listening and loving your family and just wanting to share life with you. Not just the fun, hey, let's get together and go do some activity or chit chat or go for, a walk. It's also spending time with your family and the people that you care about. And, if they're sick, asking how they are and following up and how can I help? It's realizing that friendship is showing up for the fun, the good, the bad. I want to say the ugly, but at the same time, it's just part of life. Like these are all pieces of life. And the more that we show up for others and are willing to let people into our lives, that is how friendship is formed and how bonds are built and strengthened. And before you realize it, it's just someone that you maybe casually knew is now one of your very best friends. And you realize, I can talk about anything with you. And I am so grateful for you. Me and one of my best friends, we were random roommates in college. And I remember it's just like we clicked in a moment. And she always says when she heard the song, God Gave Me You, like that's our song for our friendship. Because it's just, it's hard to describe, but we're just like, I'm so grateful God gave me you as a best friend. Like the stuff that we have been through and just knowing that no matter how much time passes or what season of life each of us is in, might be the same, might be different. Like God brought us together to be best friends because he knew we would need each other. And the level of support, the level of depth, the level of memories and bonds and laughter and all the things, it's just such a blessing. And that's what I think of when I think of every single one of my friends is it's just like, you weren't expecting to meet that person. I was in common groups with other people. One of my other best friends, they were invited to an event, and we just started talking, and the next thing you knew, like, we were inseparable. And another one of my friends, same thing. We were on a trip where we didn't even know each other, and we started talking, and then we just started doing everything together. And it's been in the good seasons, it's been in the hard seasons, but we've always leaned in to get together, to hang out, to laugh, but to also talk about things that are uncomfortable, and to get each other's input and perspective and say, hey, can you tell me, am I in check here? Or what am I missing? Or what do you suggest for an approach? Or, hey, I don't really even know what to ask here, but I'm hoping you can read between the lines and just help me through this. And so that's just what I really want to leave you with today, is that in any relationship, big gestures are fun and they have their place. For birthdays, for celebrations, the parties and the gifts and the recognition, they are all so wonderful, and I want you to always do them. I love them in my life, from my friends and family and everyone, but don't overlook the small ones, because they really actually turn out to be the ones that make the biggest, most lasting impact, because those are the times when not everybody's around. And not everybody may even realize what's happening or going on, and you have an opportunity to show up and be there for your friend in a hard time. It's easy when things are fun and celebratory for everyone to show up, but true friendship, it's built in the messy times. It's built in the cracks of the celebrations and the hardships and the tears and the times that not everybody wants to talk about. We love sharing our highlight reels. That's why social media is so fun. Here is a really great lesson, or here's where I am today. But the hard times, those are the behind the scenes. Those are the times when real friends get to show up and be a part of our life. And so I just want to encourage you to work on being the friend that you want in your life. And I'm so excited to watch your relationships strengthen and improve. So if you have questions, I would love to hear them. I'd love to hear if you are rocking in the friendship field, or if you feel like, yeah, that is a huge lesson. I didn't really realize that I wasn't opening myself up to others. I was just being really supportive for everyone around me, because it all plays a piece. But just as you are a good friend to others, you deserve to have good friends in your life too. And you just have to trust other people enough that they love you and want to be there for you in the hard times. So really, it comes down to, if you want a good friend, learn to be a good friend. And I know that each one of you are great friends and are going to have friend circles that just continue to multiply in your life. I love you so much. I hope you have a great week. If this podcast helped, challenged, or inspired you in some way, I would love it if you'd do me a huge favor and leave me a review over on Apple Podcasts. It helps me to hear from you and know how this is best serving you. And go ahead and screenshot this and share it in your stories. Tag me at Shannon Marquita. That's ShannonMarqueta. And send it over to a friend in a text who is ready for healthy changes in her life too. Let her know that this episode might serve her as well. I am just so grateful for you and would love to hear from you. Come hang out and let's connect over in my Facebook group, bit.ly.com/afreshstart, or send me a message. I look forward to seeing you back here in a few days.